Alright, what's up, yins guys? I'm going to do a video here about yet another thing I saw on the local television news. And another cop that got caught molesting kids. Evidently it's been going on for a while. It's been on the news pretty much all week already. It was, the story was centered around one particular kid that the cop was blackmailing because he had a stolen credit card or whatever, and he was taking him into a custodial closet, a janitorial closet or a janitorial room in the school, and evidently he was going right to the school in the class just to go get the kid, calling him out of class. I mean, and when you got even if a kid did do something wrong, I mean, any kind of petty crime or stealing, isn't there a point somewhere where you see a cop acting unprofessionally and taking a kid out of the school under unusual circumstances right in the middle of class and taking them somewhere by themselves? When does the school or even parents or anybody, the other kids maybe start talking, or the people actually in the school, when do they maybe start getting suspicious, or maybe they just don't question it, or don't even think about it? I mean, actually, I thought that people even in the school would be getting kind of suspicious, I mean, about some kind of goings-on, because for one thing, it seemed to me that some of the ways, even if a kid did do something, they're taking them out of class like that. I mean, something is illegal there right from the start. I mean, you guys can go on and on about that, like in a separate video about like probable cause. And this is kind of the creepy shit that if I had a kid and say they did do something wrong, I would be suspicious about any kind of police or even mental health officials if they wanted to get them psychological exams. Anybody that wanted to take my kid anywhere by themselves, at the very least, you know what I mean? If it was just like, say, especially if it's just one officer or somebody in any kind of room, any kind of professional of any kind, without anybody else. I mean, say if you were picked up by the cops for something, even if it's legit, maybe have a couple of them there. I mean, even if you're an older person and not a kid as it is, if you've got just one person in a room and the only people that are there besides God, if you choose to believe in God, the only people that would be in that room would be you and them, and your word against theirs, and they have a badge and authority. You're just a lying piece of trash, or you're just a kid that's just a liar or whatever, and all that too. But that's just too much opportunity to do something sneaky or take illegal advantage, you know what I mean, or unfair advantage. I mean, you could even have somebody, especially your kid, being taken out of school for a psychological exam because he don't play well with the other kids, or he just stays away from the other kids by himself. And then the parents want to take the word for it. They take, say, even for a psychological exam, take the kid out of the class, right? Or take him to the school psychologist, or take him, or have some other professional come in without you knowing it. Just take the kid and ask him a bunch of questions and turn around and go to you as the parent and say, oh, this kid is hearing voices or this and that. I'd figured I'd throw shit like that in there too, because that's the kind of games people be playing too, you know what I mean? And the parents ain't supposed to be inquiring about anything. They're supposed to just shut up and do what they're told and take somebody's word for it, and not actually ask the kid. The professional's word is always right. But in any circumstance like that, should you even have just one person of any kind taking your kid into a place by themselves and without no other officer or no other person, just you and that one officer. I mean, at least if you have a couple extra police officers there, more than one, then nobody's going to go and try to molest them, except, of course, you got a couple, 3 or 4 in the room that are all like that, and maybe when you're in some other foreign countries that are totalitarian, you can get the whole room full of soldiers or cops or whatever kind of thing like that. That they can just do whatever they want, and too much power. But I'm not even saying all officers any police or anything are all bad. But when you get one bad apple like that, I mean, somebody like that ought to be beaten to death by their fellow police officers or whatever, because it would be an embarrassment. You know what I mean? If I were a police officer in there and I knew one of my fellow officers did something like that and I found out that it was true, I'd want to beat him over the dang head, or get him the hell out of my sight. Oh, here's another good idea for you. How about all the guy's fellow officers restrain them and get one of the police dogs to actually bite their private parts off? But you know what, that might be cruelty to an animal, making the animal sick. You wouldn't want to do that. That would be the only thing, it would be a question of making the dog sick, Other than that, they would deserve it. Or if I was a judge, I wouldn't fool around. If I was a judge, I'd probably get a couple of guards to restrain them on the corner of a table and put their scrotum on the corner of the table and then beat them in the scrotum with the gavel, with the little judge hammer thing, the gavel. But first, before I beat them in the scrotum with the gavel, I'd duct tape a kazoo in their mouth so that it may make funny, hilarious noises while they're screaming, and say, "Yeah, you think this is fun molesting kids? Huh? No screaming in pain when I'm asking you a question, damn it." And there's a lot of people as it is, do all kind of really stupid crap. That if I was a judge, I'd probably want to say, "Here, come here for a second," and just thump him in the dang head with that gavel, you know what I mean? If I was seeing a lot of the crap people do, if I were a judge, I'd be I'd have the urge to beat people over the head with the gavel, or certain kind of crimes against, like, say, molesting kids, like anything crimes against kids and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, take this gavel and beat them in the scrotum, you know what I mean? And like I said, duct tape a kazoo in their mouth first, so that it makes some funny noises while they're screaming while you're beating them in the scrotum, you know what I mean? Or at least tie them to a chair and duct tape a kazoo in their mouth or some kind of musical instrument, and then take a belt or a strap or an extension cord and keep whipping them in the groin and keep saying, "Yeah, you think it's fun molesting kids, huh? And no screaming in pain when I'm asking you a question." I says, if you were an officer of some kind, you get into that line of work, I think you'd kind of want to do what's right and try to solve the problems if you can. Any kind of stuff, police work you do or whatever, whether it's domestic dispute, try to do your best to do the right thing, you know what I mean? But you get people like this that use their authority to try to go and molest kids. That's an embarrassment to the community and to the police station herself, you know what I mean? But hell, a couple townships away from me, a few years ago, they arrested this cop. He had thousands of images pictures in his computer of illegally obtained pictures of boys, because they were nude pictures, that child porn crap. Then his wife, I guess, was still beyond belief, so she still loves him and thinks he's innocent or whatever. The judge put his ass away, said there was no excuse for an officer to behave that way. Yeah, they caught him with a young boy that he met over the internet and went to go see and do illegal stuff with. And then supposedly, according to the article, you did that crying stuff. Oh, I was abused or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then the judge wasn't buying it. He said there's no excuse for any officer law to do that. But yeah, the audience guys probably in nearby communities probably have articles like that just all over the place. Something like that going on. Damn shame. And plus it's also not only sickening, it's kind of like some kind of selfish desire that they're worried about themselves, and they want something, and if they gotta take advantage of or intimidate or blackmail some underage kid to get it, they'll do it. I mean, people like that, a beheading or a hanging, old-fashioned beheading or hanging is too good for them. Like I said, they should be tied to the chair and be whipped in their private parts with an extension cord, a belt strap, or a chain or some kind of thing, with a kazoo duct taped in their mouth. That's all there is to it. I mean, there's got to be a point somewhere where stuff like that even the people got to say stuff like that can't or won't be tolerated. But yeah, that's basically what the ballpark idea, what I'm trying to tell you there, you know what I mean? I mean, there's even people that out there that choose to be gay, even though some of us, that's not my thing, I don't care for that shit, it's if that floats people's boat, but at least some of them, they were around each other long enough or whatever, and they're old enough to say, well, if they want to have affections for each other or whatever, then they're gonna go for it, and they were just around and hanging with each other a long time. I personally think that even I could do a little bit more research if you guys want to do research and prove me wrong here, but I think that I said before that the gay community ain't really expressing the outrage that a lot of us feel that they should be expressing when shit like this goes on. They just want to just shove it off or whatever. You don't see, I never noticed any, unless you want to show me somebody or somebody's YouTube channel that is, I never ran across any YouTubers that were gay that are expressing the desire to beat the hell out of a say like a police officer that did some kind of thing like that to some kid underage or whatever, using his power and doing it by intimidation. And you don't see them condemning or any outrage like people like Sandusky or whatever. I mean, you'd think because they're gay and maybe have some moral values that they'd claim, you'd think that they'd be all up in arms and condemning that stuff, because you figured it would be an embarrassing thing. They don't want to be classed along with that kind of people. I know they're out there. I mean, some of them are probably out there, but there's this code where for some reason they don't want to speak up because, like, you know, the way that is anymore, why people don't want to speak up, they gotta get permission from their peers first. But yeah, if there is any of them out there that do express anything like that, or if there's any of you guys are listening out there and you are just show me a YouTuber or somebody somewhere that is gay, that actually is outright condemning stuff like that and expresses a desire to beat the living crap out of people that do that shit to kids. I mean, alright, you get the idea. That's it for this video. See you next time.